just here trying to do things, trying to color a comic. That's the wrong one. There we go. Aha. Of course, when I start streaming is when it's not going to go to the right folder. But you know. Whatever. I'll figure it all out later. Doesn't really matter, does it? Doubt anybody's going to be watching this. I only have the one monitor. I am a broke little friend. Just a broke little friend. I'm going to listen to some music. Yeah, okay. I am allowed to do that since you guys won't be able to hear it. And YouTube won't be able to go after me. I'm not sponsored by any of these bands, of course. Turn that down just a smidgeroni so I can hear myself talk. Don't want to be too loud for whoever wants to watch this later, which will probably be no one. That's okay. I do want to say, though, for a future watchers, probably not going to be any, but whatever. Uh, don't don't go after anybody, please. Like really, especially not Christine herself, please. I would really greatly appreciate that. She doesn't really need that in her life right now. She's got a lot going on with her, and she doesn't need you people on her butt all the time. Some YouTubers are getting money off, talking about her circumstances and whatnot. And I'm sitting here thinking about all the times that she's gotten used and, manipulated by bad actors. And I'm just wondering how anybody could buy any of what happened. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm not going to go into too much detail. That's just my 2 cents. Like, I'm not going to go disparaging anybody's, mental health or mental states, but I'm just saying that there have been several bad actors in Christine's life that have obviously had more control over her than they needed to. And I just find it amazing that you people are willing to just accept accept this version of events. I'm not going to even mention what happened. Who those who know, those who don't need to know because I think it's honestly bullshit. Well, oops, I swore. Oh well. I think it's honestly crap. Poopy. You can disagree with me or you cannot. You will you're allowed to believe whatever you want to believe. My belief is that she did not do any of what you people think she did. And it's kind of crap that she got arrested for what was probably false charges. As far as I know, she was never even convicted. So, yeah, all these people posting on YouTube these videos of her arrest footage and just memeing on her. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I don't think it's fair to her. I really don't. And again, you guys are welcome to believe what you want. I'm not going to fight with you over it. It's not worth my time. I'm just giving my 2 cents on the whole situation. I doubt anybody's ever going to listen to this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Oh, crap. I messed up on the number of trees. Oh, well. I'm not going to be bothered enough to fix it. I'm just gonna do this one as the lighter brown. That means it's more in the background, but not fully in the background like the darker trees. That's just how I've decided to do the frickin' forest for this. I hate forests. They suck. They're hard to draw. Although not as hard as Mewtwo has been, I will fully admit that Mewtwo has been a pain to draw. An utter pain in the booty butt. I know this stream is probably going to get memed on everywhere if people ever come across it. I doubt they will, though. That's why I kind of just am saying whatever I really want to say within limits, because I don't want to get grumped on by Big Daddy YouTuber. That's the last thing I need right now is to get grumped on by YouTube and its baloney policies. Alright, yeah. Then I'm going to do, as Bob Ross would say, a happy little tree in the foreground. For those of you wondering, I am a cis female, although I doubt any of you will believe that. My voice is a little bit deep for a female, and I know that. I've been compared to a guy for all my life, so it won't really matter to me if you guys misgender me as a guy. I really don't care. Do, 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 do. This was Can't copyright strike me for a song from a movie that is like no longer in the lexicon, YouTube. Although I'm sure you guys are gonna try. just kind of seems to be the thing, huh? Oh well, whatevs. It is a big whatever. I don't give a crap. I wonder if YouTube is draconian enough to consider crap a swear. That would be kind of funny. Oh well. That's like my grandparents' version of swearing, honestly. Oh no. I'm an idiot. I meant to only select a section of this panel. Because unlike Photoshop, Side doesn't have a straight line shortcut as far as I know anyway. So I just kind of cheat and use the selection square to create a straight line. It's kind of, amateurish because I'm lazy and don't want to look up how Psi works entirely. I don't even know how much I intend to get done for this stream. I hope to at least get one panel done before I have to stop. We'll see how things go. It's just easier for me to make a straight line in the background and then erase it afterwards just so I know where it is. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but that's how I've been doing art for a long time now. I'm about like I'm going to be 39 this year, so almost 40. Uh, I've been doing this since I was just a youngling. Hell, heck, I still remember when The Lion King came out in theaters. I was just a little kid. That movie got me into the entire art community, honestly. I remember finding tlk.fanart.org or whatever it is now, but that's where I started my whole career as an artist was on a Lion King fan art site. And when I started drawing more anthros, that was when I moved to Fur Affinity. Well, first it was DeviantArt, then Fur Affinity, because DeviantArt kind of became unfriendly towards furries over the years. Yes, I am a furry. I'm not afraid to admit that much. No, I am not. I'm not one of those furries that you guys are all like, zoophile, zoophile. No, let's not talk about that or even mention it. Not all furs are zoophiles. I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys are probably going to have a field day with this when this is eventually discovered. Probably never going to be. It's probably going to be lost in the YouTube algorithm. Who gives a poop, right? I'm fully expecting to get trolled into oblivion just for the fact that I'm a furry alone, let alone my stance on what happened with Christine. And the whole thing of drawing Sonichu art. And we have somebody at the door. One of my roommates is going to get it, it's okay. Don't know what it's about, but the door bell is usually not a good sign for us. Kid's gonna kid. Kid's gonna kid. What can you do? Yeah, I know, right? Keep it PG though. Aha. You're not a chaos being at all. You're hearing me talk to my girlfriend in the background. Well, she goes by Seabis. We're in a polyamorous relationship. Go ahead and judge all you want. Don't give a care. I know this is probably sharing too much, but again, don't give a care. What are you guys going to do about it? Troll me? I'm so scared. Ugh. I've been on the internet for a while now. It's gonna take a little bit more to frumple me. I'm not very easily offended. Not at all. Back in my teenage days, I used to lurk on 4chan a lot. Don't anymore because, that site's kind of a trash pit. But we all have our edgy times and do things that we regret later on in life. We all have things that we need to, grow past at some point. Heck, in my edgy phase, I used to draw some really awful edgy cringe art. Let alone the fanfics I used to write. Goodness. I still write. They're just a lot. Well, they're still cringe, I suppose some people would consider them so, but they're less cringe than what they used to be. I'm trying to do the background first because it's easier to get that done and then do the characters. I drew this out first by hand with a mechanical pencil and scanned it in using a little mini scanner that I have. Why am I doing Sonichu fan art? Is probably a question some of you are going to ask when this is eventually, maybe, possibly discovered at some point. Probably will be, probably won't be, we'll see. Well, the thing is that I saw the potential in the comic. I really did. I saw a lot of where Christine was trying to go with some of her intentions before the trolls got to it. And I wanted to kind of improve upon the story, maybe try to, I don't know, indirectly gain some interest in the IP. I've just always kind of liked, well, not always, but I have liked Sonichu for a while. I've always been kind of interested in it, at least before the trolls started dunking on Christine for reasons that were beyond her control, and I don't like that people do that, but I can't do anything about it. All I can do is just maybe try to ask that we try to just leave her alone, maybe? Please? I know I've already said that, but I would like to reiterate it. She's had enough through her life of this baloney and doesn't need more. Really doesn't. There. Okay. I'm using a line tool inside to outline because my hands are extremely shaky, and any lines that I do by hand come out looking really not so good. So it's just easier and more clean for me to do it with the line tool. It still gets the feeling across because I am just tracing it over my own artwork. There are times where I will fix some mistakes that I've made. Should probably rename that. I will reiterate, I am not associated with Christine in any way, shape, or form. She doesn't even know who I am. I'm just some random person on the internet who happened to take a liking to her comic series and didn't like the treatment she was getting online. That's all I am. You can whether or not you choose to believe that, that's your prerogative, not my problem. Doesn't bother me if you don't believe me, 'cause I don't care. I've gone through several years of not needing validation from random people on the internet. So I'm probably not going to start really caring about it much now. Sure, that makes you guys wonder why I'm even streaming this publicly in the first place. Well, the answer to that is I wanted to promote my fan comic of Sonichu and get a little more awareness out there that it exists, and maybe try to drive some more interest in the Sonichu property itself. Maybe indirectly help Christine clean up some of her own storylines if she even knows it exists, which I doubt. But it would be nice. I wouldn't complain if she used some of my storylines. I honestly wouldn't care. I think I kind of started this as a way to maybe cheer her up, I guess. Show her that somebody out there cared about Sonichu and wanted to make genuine, wholesome fan art of her characters. I just I just hope she's doing okay. I know I think she should honestly probably try to avoid being online given how people have been treating her. I don't think any of the treatment you guys have been giving her has been helpful at all to the situation. Or to her, honestly. But let's switch subjects here. What's going on in this scene is Magichan is talking with Mewtwo about his having to set off on his journey to help Sonichu and prepare the rest of the chaotic combo for battles later. but he's having a hard time because, Mewtwo is his father. He's only had a month with the guy, as I'm sure you'll see in my comic in the link in the description. Uh, and Mewtwo is not Magichan's biological father, by the way. He adopted Magichan right when Magichan hatched because his mom was, well, his mom basically rejected him when he was born. And you're going to have to go and read the comic to see what happened and why. And you also may notice if you've read the original comic, I don't know if anybody has, um, Magichan looks a bit different. That's because I decided to make Magichan into a Espeon Sonichu instead of just a normal Sonichu. I wanted a way to differentiate my fan comic from Christine's so people wouldn't get us confused and start giving me credit for the creation of Sonichu when I haven't ever created it. I didn't. It was Christine. Christine created it. I'm just a fan artist. And that's what I want people to keep in mind. And I also just I want to explore their designs a little more since I'm going to be making this my own thing while sticking kind of to Christine's storyline ish. There's some things that are going to be changed, obviously. Some things that are going to be tweaked. Uh like some of the things I'm sure she regrets saying and doing in the comics because she did them well, not in the best state of mind. I want to be as respectful to her as I possibly can while I'm doing this. That's my main goal. Is to be very, very, very respectful to her vision of this, and to the world of Sonichu in general. I should probably start labeling the Magichan bits just to make it easier on me later. The reason why I'm making a different layer for each piece of the picture I'm doing is so they don't interact with each other if I have to erase or move a line or something. I'm sure you guys, if you've read the original Sonichu comics, you know why I picked an Espeon in particular for Magichan. It's because of the psychic abilities and the fact that Espeon would look the most like, well, what Magichan looks like. Beyond, normal Sonichu, which I didn't want to do for reasons I already explained. God dang. I'll erase his legs in a second. I want to work on the socks that overlap on the legs first. because the way I'm doing things, it doesn't really matter when I erase things. It's a little hard for me to talk and type at the same time. I'm not used to this. I've never live streamed before. I'm sure you guys can tell. I've already explained why I'm live streaming this. Hmm. Hey, this needs to be moved up. It'll help a little bit. I have I haven't drawn like this in a long, long time. Sonichu kind of inspired me to get back into drawing. I know that's a weird thing for people, for somebody like me to say, but it really did. It did inspire me to draw because I found myself intrigued by the world and the characters. It was never my intention to be better or say that I'm better than Christine. That's not my goal here. Da, da, da. I like to do the colors that are going to be under things first. Oh, it's messed up there. It's just easier to do the colors that are under things first and then deal with the colors that go over things. And let me show you what I mean. Like these socks that I did on this layer here. I did these first so that they would appear under visually under these legs here. If they were on top of the legs, they would be like that. Granted, I could just move the layer under the thing if I mess up. But it's just easier to do it this way in the first place than go through all the trouble. Granted, I am still human, so I will mess up a lot. I'm probably going to have to stop for intermittent snacks. These just take a little bit of time to finish. And I'm sure, well, I highly doubt anybody's watching this still. I'm not going to even bother to pull up the thing and check, because, like I said at the beginning, I only have the one monitor, and it's not so easy for me to check on the chat. Because I'm a broke little buddy. Broke little buddy buddy. The brokest of the buddies. We're all broke, I suppose. Except for those lucky enough to have stumbled into a fortune. I gotta fix this a little bit. Just a bit. There we go. That looks a little better. BG tree, move that. Reason why I'm moving the yellow ends of the line down below is so they connect better for coloring reasons and they look better in general when I'm done. I think that's the bush. Yeah, that's the bush. And that's what I meant by moving lines around, because sometimes you have to shift where lines are as you color in, well, outline things in this case. I'm still working on outlining Magichan here. Magichan's the more difficult of the two to outline, so I usually do him first to get him out of the way. I am back. Not that anybody really cares. It's probably a good thing I'm not logged into chat because if anybody's there, they're probably dunking on me right now. eh. Honestly, I'm not bothered by it. I'm really not. I refuse to be. Honestly, I have better things to do with my time than to be bothered by a bunch of immature people on the internet. I literally have no internet reputation to ruin, so I could not give craps. I literally couldn't. Now, I'm working on his body, all of which is probably going to end up being erased. But the reason why I'm doing this in the first place is to get an idea of where his body would be under the clothes. So it's a little more accurate when I start outlining in general. So it just looks better, you know? Whoops. Oh no, I messed up. This is not a good day for me. I keep forgetting to make new layers. Oh no, I may accidentally merged. There we go. Good grief. I'm just gonna blame this on first time stream jitters. Even though I know it's just me being a doofus. Oh, don't mind me. I have a repertoire of words that I can use in place of swearing. All of them are goofy, and I don't give craps if people, take offense to me using goofy words. I'm going to use goofy words because I find them funny. I don't have the energy or the will to muster up any craps to give. That's basically how I live my life, honestly. I'm summarily unbothered, almost to a fault. It takes a lot to offend or upset me. Alright, this is where the body is. Oh, I think I'll want to draw the tumbo first, though. So, let's do. My lack of talent on full display. Whatever. It would probably start around there. Maybe. I said there. Thank you. Just gonna go ahead and do this. Don't mind that. That's just our neighbors. Our neighbors upstairs. They do that all day, every day. And There's not much we can do about it, really. Believe it or not, they do this all day, every day. It's kind of tiring. And we have made a complaint before, but nothing has really happened with that, so kind of is what it is, and we kind of gotta just keep on keeping on. That's all we can do. That looks okay, I think. God, I'm expecting full on goons to come galloping at me. Eh, I expected backlash when I started this baloney. Just like, oh, well, it's gonna have to go there anyway, so it doesn't matter. Why? Okay, I said eraser. I would appreciate it if you just did the erasy thing. Thank you very much. Just like YouTube can't nail me for listening to music while doing art if I don't stream the music. Be just like. I'm sure they're going to try. From what I've heard, YouTube is not the best to the creators. That's why I'm not really in it for the money. Like I said before, really early on, this is just to try to spread some promotion for the comic, the world of Sonichu itself, and maybe show Christine that people that there are some people, or at least one person out there that cares about her art, her as a person, and really doesn't want to see her crash and burn. Cat! No. Okay. This is going to be a little awkward. Might be better if I erase that and then put that there. I was seeing some problems that would have come up, so I'm changing the strategy a little bit here. Uh, if you can guess what I'm listening to by how I'm humming, good for you. Alright. Demons again. You might have noticed that I changed some of Magichan's marking colors too, as well as his species. And that's mostly because I thought that the coloring the purple would look a little bit better than the brown. But that's just me. I'm not trying to overtake her designs by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just doing my take. That's all I'm doing. And I thought for my version of Magichan, the purple would look better. And I'm not saying my Magichan is better than hers. It's more of a thing that it would look better on for me. Just gonna shorten his vest a little bit here because I think it should be a little bit shorter. I don't think it should be so long. My Magichan is just my Magichan. It's not better, it's not worse, it's just mine. My version, not my character, but just my version. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Right, that's that. Just that. I think that should be okay. And then I want to erase these so they're no longer being used as a guide. Do that. Alright. And Body and stomach. That's what I'm going to call this layer. Because that's what it is. And also, you don't want to know what Sia is laughing at. Trust me, I've lived with her long enough to know that you never want to know. Probably just get rid of that entirely. Fucking hates me. I'm sure YouTube's gonna nail me for that too, but I don't give a crap. There's something very nice about just working on art. Something soothing. And as you can see, me layering my lines like this is already coming in handy. Although I should probably go back and rename these. I keep forgetting to name them what I need to, so it's easier to keep straight. A lot of the times, these will end up having the same names if I don't specify by character name who they belong to. Alright. I know what's on his back isn't a fin, it's just some quills. But it's easier to label it as a back fin, because that's what it looks like. To be honest, before I started drawing Sonichu, I have never drawn Sonic or Sonic-like characters very much, nor have I drawn very many Pokemon. I mostly just drew furry characters, my own characters to be specific. If you really want to find me, well, tough, because I'm not giving you my fur affinity name, my real one anyway. I'll send you to my Brightheart one, but there's not really much on there other than my Sonichu fan comic. Hmm. Uh-oh. I screwed up on his socks. Scrick. Alright. Let's redo the socks real quick. His socks are blue, not white, and I autopiloted white because usually the Sonic characters have white socks. Even though I just said I don't normally draw Sonic characters, I'm very aware of the fact that they normally wear white socks. Like, I've played a few Sonic games and seen many more played. I'm aware of what the Sonic characters look like. My complete doofusness just on full display. I don't care. Who am I showing off for anyway? It's not a, I'm this big professional streamer girl. Heck, I wouldn't even get very much views if I did show you guys my face, which I'm not gonna. I know better than to show my face on a stream as a cis female online to a stream that's probably going to be full of trolls later. It would not be a smart decision on my part. Heck, even just doing this stream is probably not the greatest idea. Well, mostly because of what I've had to say so far, but, I'm only saying what I believe to be true. You guys can come at me if you want, but I doubt you have any evidence that I'm not already aware of because of some of the things I've seen covered by other people. You're not going to change my mind on this. Just like I'm probably not going to change your guys' mind. Uh, Okay, little skitter butt. Skitter butt. Skitter rumpy. See ya. Still streaming. Of course they must know you, little chaos bean. Sia is the embodiment of chaos. And she is interesting to live with, that's all I will say. I love her a lot, but she is something. I know you don't know Sia best from Adam, but I'm not going to tell you anything about her. One, she's not really a public figure, so it wouldn't really be appropriate. And another, I just wouldn't feel right. As I'm doing this, I'm like constantly thinking about what to do next for the Sonichu comic. If I should include clothes on the characters or not, what Christine would want done, because I don't want her to think that I'm doing this to troll her or try to take credit for her characters. I'm not. And I would be doing this, well, I would feel a lot better if I had her, well, okay to do this, but I'm not going to go out of my way to try and bother her. And on top of that, if she wants to get a hold of me, she can. She can message me on my DeviantArt if she wants to. I also have a Twitter under Brightheart Rosachu that I also post this comic to, and that's all I post there. Alright, I gotta do the glove, and I still labeled it wrong, because autopilot is a fridge. It's so much easier to correct mistakes when you do the lines this way too, because you can just like delete the layer and start over if it's bad enough. I know there's probably easier ways to do this if I cared enough to really research how to use Psy properly. Thing is that I just don't care enough to really. And my methods, while they take me a long time, they're they result in good things. Like, I think it's pretty. The comic I end up with is pretty good, in my opinion. I'm very biased. It's probably not the best drawn thing out there, I will admit. Because I will fully admit before God and all his angels, if he exists, uh, that I drawing Pokemon anatomy and Sonic anatomy is friggin' weird, man. It is weird as crap. The proportions are weird. It's hard to parse where things are on the bodies a lot of the times. And sometimes, like, Pokemon designs just seem to clash with each other sometimes. It doesn't even seem like some Pokemon belong in the same universe as others. It's not as if I'm a Pokemon hater either. I love the Pokemon series. Like, I absolutely love Pokemon. I've played it since Yellow. But it has some problems. Chan legs. Make sure the lines are meeting up under the glove so it looks more uniform and neat. Now, the reason why I'm using different colors for different lines is to match the color of the color underneath the line. To make it look more like a cartoon show, I suppose. Also, I just like the look of colored lines more than black lines. They look better to me, at least as far as my art goes. If you want to use black lines, I'm not going to disparage you for it. That's your decision. And you have every right to draw, color, however way you want, as long as you're not like trying to trace somebody else's art and claim it's yours and then try to sell it. That is never okay. I'm a very strong believer in that you just don't trace art as an artist to sell it. You can trace it to teach yourself better anatomy, better ways of drawing art, because that's how a lot of artists learn anatomy and how to draw better art is by tracing other artists and be like, oh, so that's how they did this technique and that's how they drew this anatomy. And the problem I have is when people start claiming it is their own artwork and decide they're going to sell it without the original artist's knowledge and or permission. Tracing to any artist is like a mortal sin. Well, to me, it's a mortal sin if you sell it, not if you trace. Period. I had to think of a better way to word that. I am not the best at my words. I am a very, very, very awkward person. Extremely awkward. I'm not going to really get into the reason why I'm so awkward, but trust me, there's a reason. Let's see. Going to turn off the background, see if any lines need to be adjusted. Okay. That was me cracking my knuckles. Right. Now we are on to Magichan's arm here. Oops. Despite changing Magichan's species, I did want to keep some semblance of the fact that he was a Sonichu. So that's why he has, the tail marking. He does have stripes under his vest. You just can't see them when he has his clothes on. And that's why he also has the red cheek marking, even though he doesn't really have that in the original comic. I want to have some. I added cheek markings to all the Sonichus that I've drawn, Sonichus and Rosachus, even if they haven't had one. Mostly because I wanted to personally, I'm not saying that it's bad to not, I want to personally have some uniformity in the characters' designs. That was just my personal choice. Hence why, I've departed so much from their species and everything else, because I want to make it clear everything I'm doing is just my own aesthetic choices. It's not to rag on anybody or say that my version is better. And I'm going to reiterate that as many times as I need to. Because I know it takes several times for some people to really get the message. Right. There's the back fin layer. Go ahead, I don't care. Right. Here we go. I guess I'll just have to wait and see if it's actually doing what I want to do. Because, like I said, I've never streamed before. It'd be a shame for all this to be lost into the aether just because I didn't set up something right. But, alright. Now on to Magi-chan's head. I think I'm only going to do, like, one panel maybe. just as a test to see what I'm doing here. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and